Black folks will not ask they mama, they daddy, they cousin, they uncle, they auntie, sibling, or anybody else for help.
Why? Because we're scared of looking broke or feeling judged, which is understandable. Because, you ask somebody something, they might have something, and they look at you like, you can't get your shit together?
But that silence is costing you money, y'all. It's costing you money. It wasn't until I heard from somebody else, right? From a third party, like from somebody who was not even family, how we could do this fire thing, how we could invest in real estate and make it make sense.
Yeah.
And that's when I realized that what my cousin was doing, who owns 40 plus properties, that what he was doing was possible for us too.
Yeah.
But I didn't know, y'all.
But we listened, we learned, then made a plan to get America.
To get what? To get your financial act together. Right. Like, look, we made a plan to get out of America, but what we didn't know was what we didn't know. Right? What we didn't know is what we didn't know. All right. So, all right, y'all. Hey, we had some technical difficulties. Oh, my name's Halisi.
And I'm Rick. Welcome to Our Black Utopia.
On our channel, we talk about money, we talk about travel, and life abroad. We help folks who look like us, who are getting close to retirement age and forgot to plan, get their money straight so that they can retire on time or maybe even abroad.
Abroad is a good thing.
Early is even better. All right, sweetie. What are we talking about today?
Today, we're talking about how to unlock financial freedoms. 5 steps to tap your family's wealth wisdom.
That's right. That's right. So we're going to discuss the 5 steps to stop blocking your blessings. And we just going to name them right now. All right. We just going to name them right now. So if you're one of those folks who don't like the chitty chat, here are the steps. 1, reframe it. 2, get specific. 3, make it a conversation. Number 4, use the advice.
5,
hello, folks, use the advice. And number 5,
share the wealth.
That's right.
Don't keep it to yourself.
Share the wealth. That's right. So 5 steps for blocking your blessings, because reframing it, it's not asking, it's asking isn't begging. It's a strategy, right? When you get specific, you will know exactly the advice that you need. And that's what will be given to you. Make it a conversation. Start with curiosity, not a request. Use the advice, then follow up and show results. Share the wealth. And when you level up, help someone else. What does that mean? That means each one teach one, right? Each one reach one and then teach one. That's what that means. All right. And so that's what we are going to talk about today. But first, if you're new to our channel, then you might not know. Back in 2018, Rick and I got a wake-up call. We were getting close to retirement age. And we looked at our money. Y'all, it looked crazy.
Crazy.
But we got our financial act together.
Did I say crazy?
You said crazy.
Okay.
We got our financial act together and we went from negative 22,000 to over 1.1 million in net worth, y'all. If we can do that, you can do it too. All right. And so if that sounds interesting to you, please subscribe. We know that half of the people who watch our channel are not subscribed. Why y'all not subscribed? It's free. If you want to become a member, if you want to become a Utopian member, right? That information is in the screen. You just hit that join button, We just had a conversation with the Utopians right before we started this broadcast. And Utopians, We'll see how it goes, but we might go live right after this out in
The streets.
the streets because the streets are partying, y'all. It is it is Santos Populares, which is the month of popular saints. It is June, y'all, in Portugal, and that means the party is on. And we have been out there in the streets. Our freguesia already has their I don't need this, already has their street festival going. And so if we get finished fast enough, we will go out there, and for our Utopian members, we will go live and show you what's going on. All right. And with that, let's get this party started.
Okay.
All right. So let's start with number one, reframe it. Asking for help is strategic. All right. It's not shameful. And the reason why we're talking about this, y'all, is because we have talked to so many people that have said that they have someone in their family who did this, that, and the other. And you've heard our story. Rick had an uncle who was very, very wealthy, right?
Yeah.
He invested in stock
market
and real estate.
Mm-hmm.
Did not share that information. He didn't voluntarily.
He didn't volunteer it, and
we didn't ask,
and nobody asked. And half of the problem was, or most of the problem was, because I know why my father didn't ask.
Why?
Because he was full of himself. And my father always thought that his brother thought he was better than everybody. And it's like, do you know that? Did you talk to him? Did you ask him? And he didn't want to feel less than, so he wouldn't do it. Ego.
I don't know why I'm making these faces, y'all. Because as you all know, I have a cousin who is a millionaire and is I'm going to call him a real estate mogul. He is a first cousin. He and his brother and my other first cousin are probably the closest things I have to siblings, in that we really, really grew up together, right? We really grew up together. And because my sister's like 16 years younger than me, so she's like, she could be my baby. But anyway, and so he has been doing this since he was 24 years old, y'all. 24. He did not go to a 4-year college. He did not, but he's a millionaire. And so when we see what's going on in the United States right now, right? When we see how they are defunding not only public education, but also financial aid and all of that stuff. Remember, in order to reach your financial goals, college is not necessarily a requisite, because my cousin is a lot more wealthy than we are, right? And we did the college thing. Yeah, but we don't own 40 properties like he does. And so I remember Rick asking me, like, how come you haven't called Andrew? Like, we want to do this thing with investing in real estate. You need to call your cousin. And he told me that, y'all, for years. Once he found out, for years. And I hemmed and I hawed and I hemmed and I hawed. Why did I do that? Did I do it because I thought that I already knew? Yeah. That's part of it. So what I thought I knew was that I thought that you had to have an 800 plus credit score. Y'all have heard me say this before, but I'm putting it into context. So I thought you had to have an 800, right, credit score. Mm-hmm. And our little 700 and something wasn't going to be enough to have a property outside of the property that we were living in, like to have a rental property, right? Because that's a different criteria in my mind, and it is. But like, I had already figured it out. Didn't know shit. I didn't know, y'all. I didn't know, but I thought I knew. And I didn't want to go to my cousin and say, so if you only have, or let's just say I had a really bad credit score. If you only have a 550 credit score, can you still get rental property? Can you still purchase rental property? Will a bank still loan to you? And maybe back in 2012 and stuff like that, maybe. because they was doing some stuff back in them days, right? Maybe back in like he started this a long time ago in the early 2000s. So maybe had I asked him, because Rick has been asking me to ask him this for a decade at least, but I didn't, y'all. I didn't. And because I didn't, we did not retire as early as I would have liked, because I thought I knew. So I thought I knew. So number one, reframe asking for help as strategic, not shameful. And I want to add to that don't think you know.
Yeah.
Don't think that you know.
Yeah. You need to think of asking someone for advice as a power move.
It is a power move.
Yeah. You got to think of it as a power move. Don't think of it, well, I don't know, so I feel stupid, which most of us will do.
Especially men.
Yeah.
But seriously, right?
Yeah, it's not a weakness.
It's not.
It's a power move.
It's not. It's a power move, because when I think about the young people that I've known back in my working days, and the ones that had their SHIT together, sorry, y'all, they were the people who were not afraid to ask questions. They were the people who went out of their way to find other folks who knew more than them, take them to coffee, and brain drain them.
Pick your brain.
Right? Pick their brains.
Yeah.
Pick their brains, right? And so I don't know what happens to us where we think that moving in silence, right? We got to keep it on the DL because we don't want to hear this and we don't want to hear that and we don't want to.
Yeah. I mean, stop and think about it. CEOs have consultants.
True.
And the greatest athletes in the world have coaches.
That's right.
You need somebody to show you, because you don't know everything. And it's okay. It's okay.
That's
so,
right. That's right. That's right. So I'm not begging, I'm building.
You're building.
Yeah. Right? I'm not begging, I'm building. All right. And so y'all know that my dad died about a month ago. And my biggest regret, y'all, my biggest regret are all of the conversations that I did not have. All of the conversations that I took for granted that we would have at some point, right? So don't leave your family's wealth of wisdom. Don't leave it sitting there on the side of the road thinking that one is going to always be there and that two, you don't need it right now.
Okay.
Right? Part of African American wealth is in our wisdom. I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to say African Americans are probably one of the most wise and intelligent group of individuals on the planet. Why? Because of what we've been through and what we have overcome. Right? And that's in our DNA, right? Like if they say that tragedy, if they say that trauma is written into your DNA, if they say that trauma rewrites your makeup, right? That's what neurologists say. Then think about that. Think about what our ancestors have been through and what they have overcome and what they have built. And that is in our DNA. And some folks who have been privileged all of this time and ain't gone through nothing, when they get a little hangnail,
they don't know how to handle it.
They don't know how to act. Right?
That's why they keep changing the rules.
Right.
They keep moving the goalposts.
Right.
Every time we get close.
Right.
You know.
Right.
Tulsa, Oklahoma.
You saw that they just passed a bill that they are giving, the mayor is giving reparations, y'all, reparations, y'all,
Yes.
to the survivors of the Tulsa, Oklahoma massacre,
Black Wall
state
Street.
sanctioned massacre.
Yeah.
Right. So, number one, reframe asking for help as strategic and not shameful. And then we'll go on to number two. But first, we want to see who is in the chat. Hey, y'all.
Who's in the house?
Who's in the house? First, I want to thank our helpers. All right. So that's Greta. I think both Gretas and Action VJ. So thank you. You know we love you. We love you and we appreciate you. And so I want to give you a shout out first and foremost. The people who are coming to the meetup tickets it's over. There's no more tickets available. We have the cutoff, the deadline has come and gone. All right. And so it's too late to come to our meetup, but I'm so excited for everyone who's coming. We have over 100 people coming here to Lisbon, Portugal, and they're starting to arrive. Some have already arrived. And most will arrive this week, if not today, tomorrow, and the next day. And we're going to be partying and we will show y'all. So if you're not following us on Instagram, follow us on Instagram, Our Black Utopia, to catch all of the stuff that's going to go on with our meetup live and then post live and stuff like that. We will be posting videos and everything like that from the meetup. So hey, Allison, good to see you. Thank you. And Wanda, another member, is in the house. Thank you. Expert Ease Tax Talks. We love you. Hey, Tana. Hey, Michelle. Stephanie. Winnie. Cheryl. Miss PhD is in the house. CK is in the house. Antonia is in the house. Tanya Brooks is in the house. Greta Cobbs is in the house. We love you. Of course, Bobby is in the house.
Welcome, Bobby.
We hung out with Bobby yesterday all day long and had a ball, showing her around Lisbon, her new home. And so we're so happy.
Welcome.
That she is here. Dr. James Greer is in the house. Good
we missed you.
Yeah, we missed you. Good to see you back, right? Pacific Northwest, good to see you from Portland. Y'all see what's happening in LA? Speaking of Portland, like the West Coast just got me. And I know something was happening up in Oregon. I want to say Oregon, that there was some stuff happening in Oregon, but stuff is popping off in LA. What's going on, y'all? What's going on? I want to know why they feel it necessary to go to an elementary school graduation. Criminals at the elementary school graduation? Really? And then, okay, I just got to say, we're going to get back on topic, y'all, but I got to say this. Because girls were fighting. The girls were fighting. They were fighting. Did you guys see it? They were fighting. What were they fighting about? Why were they fighting? They were fighting. Like a married couple.
Nothing else better to do.
Right? Like a married couple. Well, I'm going to take your stuff away. Well, you did this.
I'm going to sell the car from you.
Yeah. I'm going to burn that car. Like waiting to exhale.
Go torch it.
Right? I'm going to get that car away. Why was it on the White House lawn in the first MF in place? Right? Oh, and you wouldn't have won if it wasn't for me. Y'all know we were talking about the melon felon and muskrat. Elongated muskrat. The apartheid king. The girls were fighting. And I had my popcorn, y'all. And I was watching it. But women are so emotional, right? We can't handle leadership because we're too emotional, right?
Hey, that's what they say.
That's what they said, right? Gwen and Derek, that's what they said. KB, right? Hey, Kimmy, good to see you. Right, LaRonda? We're the ones who are emotional. Curtis, good to see you
Hey,
from
Curtis.
Michigan. We're the ones, right, Christina? Are we the ones? Greta's saying hey to everybody. Everybody. She's saying her to everybody. Hey, Kenneth. Serena's in the house. Ballerina. Killer Queen. Queen. Our Sunny, good to see you. Matt is in the house. Ballerina. We love y'all. Winnie B, Francine. We love you guys. We love you guys. We love you. Vanessa, we love you. We love you. We love you. All right. I did get some giggles this week. Did some giggles. Like, I'm like, this cat fight. And here's the thing. It's like it was so friggin' predictable. Like Elon Muskrat, he he is not as smart as y'all think he is. Like he did not create Tesla. You know, he bought Tesla, right? He did not create the engineer or anything. He didn't like hire the engineer. He bought the company. So he may be a strategic investor, but he's not a genius. Like I can evaluate a company, right? And see the value in it and invest and then go out there and pump it up and get legislation passed and everything. Like I know how to do all that. So what like he ain't that smart, obviously, because he trusted the melon felon.
Yeah, that put everything in doubt.
he trusted the melon felon. He thought he was gonna be different. He thought he was going to be different because I know lawyers who have lost their bar card because of this man. We know people who were sticking by his side and went to jail, right? We all know them. We know who they are.
Still going through it.
Right? Why do you think he was different? And little X told Melonfella, you ain't the president. You ain't the president. My daddy's the president.
From the mouth of babes.
I'm just saying. All right, let's get back to task, y'all. You know how I am. Let's get back to task. All right. You know the drill. You're going to put a Q if you have a question. That's right. That's right. I didn't know that the leopard would eat my face. Well, I'm going to cancel and I'm going to stop, Predator 2 or whatever his stuff is called up in the sky. I'm going to stop that. Why does one man control the United States' ability to take things and people to the space station? Why isn't that a NASA thing? See, that's the problem. This is what Republicans have done, right? And now Elon Muskrat can tell America, yeah, your folks gonna be stuck up there because I ain't doing shit. You know what I said? I was gonna transport people back and forth, and for that I was just gonna charge you a fee. Yeah. Deuces. It's the stupidest stuff I've ever heard of in my whole entire life. Right? All right. So we're talking about making sure that we have conversations with our families, not just about finances, but about everything. But specifically, we're talking about the money thing because we have had too many calls and we've had our own situations where we know that we have family members, be it immediate or like uncles and aunties and cousins and stuff like that, extended family, right? Who have done the damn thing, who have done one of the things that we want to do. And yet, hey, Professor LCH, and yet, we sit here and already decide that we are not the type of person that can do X, Y, and Z. And then because fill in the blank, right? Fill in the blank. It may not have anything to do with reality, only to do with your perception of reality, which is not necessarily reality, right? Right? Obviously, because I thought that we couldn't qualify for a second property, and yet we did. No problem, right? So I was wrong. And you may be wrong too if you are putting limitations on yourself, right, Wink? If you are putting limitations on yourself, you may be wrong. You may be wrong. Hey, Bonita, good to see you. All things pertaining, good to see you. All right. Number 2.
Identify specific needs or goals first.
So had I come to my cousin and said, I could have said, teach me to do what you do. I never did. I could have said, I want to buy 5 properties in the next 5 years. Can you help me? Can you teach me how to do that? Right? Be specific.
Yeah.
What are the goals, right? It's got to be specific. It's got to be measurable, right? Because you don't know if you reach the thing unless you know what the thing is. And if you say 5 properties within 5 years, then that's really measurable, right? If you just say, I want to start investing in real estate in the next 5 years, that's nebulous. Like, okay. So you're, at the 364th day of the 4th year, you put an offer in. But that's not what you really want, right?
Yeah.
It could be, I want to own another property before 5 years, right? Be very, very specific.
Yeah.
Before approaching anyone, get clear about what you actually want.
Yeah. So, are you looking to move abroad and lower your expenses?
Ask somebody, right? So someone told me something that really, stuck and moved me. And they said that 5 years ago, they were getting burnt out. And they started praying and asking God, I don't know what's next. I don't know. Maybe it's another career. Maybe it's just another company or organization. All I know is I cannot do this for another 5 years, right? That's all I know. And so I need you to help me. And so you make prayers like that, not knowing what the answer is going to be. And so you want to make sure that you remain open to what the answer is, right? But because the answer for this person was, oh, you can retire, as soon as you hit XYZ age, 2, 3, 4 years from now. But you're going to have to move abroad. Are you willing to do that? Are you willing to do that? Do you need budgeting tips? Right? Do you need to figure out how to lower those expenses? Right? How did my cousin buy real estate with no money down?
Curiosity.
Right? You've got to be curious.
Yeah.
Clarity builds confidence and makes others more willing to move with you, more willing to help you, right? If you're clear about what you absolutely want. And I cannot say this enough, because so often we get all caught up in our head, right? We get all caught up in our head, and we think we know what we want, but we really don't, or we don't know how to get there, right?
Yeah.
We don't know how to get there. And so you've got to be really, really clear about what you want. You cannot visualize, if you're not clear about what you want, you can't even visualize it, right? So you want to be clear enough so that you can visualize it. You can see it. When you close your eyes, you can see the thing, the situation. All right?
Yeah.
Because that's the only way that you can be certain that folks are going to be willing to help you. Number 3.
Start with a conversation, not a request. Ease into it instead of, can you help me with my finances? Try, I've been thinking about making some moves to improve my financial situation. Can I get your perspective on something you did that really worked?
People like being asked for advice, okay? Because that strokes their ego, right? But they don't want to feel like they're on the hook for your success.
Yeah.
Right? They don't want to feel like they're on the hook for your success. And so if you start with a conversation as opposed to a request, then that lessens the chance that they will feel that you are asking them to figure out your life.
Exactly.
Okay? Let's talk about this. Let's talk about it. So Andrew, when did you start investing in real estate? What was that, when you were 24, 25? How did you do that first one, and why did you do it? Right? How did you do it, and why did you do it? Very simple.
People always want to tell you their why.
They do. They do. People always want to talk about themselves. That's
Yeah, especially if they're successes.
Right? That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line. So I see Action VJ has put our Beyond the Bling in the chat, right? The link to Beyond the Bling. It like the ask. What's the ask? The ask is, I want to retire ASAP. Who do you ask? Well, you're watching our channel, so I suppose you're asking us. Right? You're asking us. And the answer is join Beyond the Bling. That's our financial independence program for late bloomers. And if you're not a late bloomer, if you are young, if you are still in your 30s or something like that, all the better, because everything in there still applies to you. You just get to do it faster, right? Or younger. Seriously. So if you want to know how to become financially independent, if you want to know how we do this life abroad, all of that information, all of that information is in Beyond the Bling. All right. I'm marking y'all's comments and stuff. All right. I'm going to go up to the top before we get to number 4. And let's see what y'all are talking about. All right. So, hey, Dee.
Hey, Dee,
welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome,
Awesome.
Utopian. Okay. So we chitty chat with every single Utopian member like an hour before we go live. All right. So we start an hour before we go live, and we chitty chat, and folks ask us questions, and everybody chimes in, and we have a good old time. So that's for all members. And then every other Thursday, if you are an urban, I gotta stop saying that.
Urban.
Utopian legend. Look, when we first started, y'all, when we first started Our Black Utopia, Rick kept saying, and I'm Rick of Our Rich Journey. We had watched Our Rich Journey so much that he started saying, and I'm Rick from Our Rich Journey. Yeah. Christina and Amon got a kick out of that when they saw it. But in any event, so hence urban legend, because that's just a thing that we say, right? But Utopian Legends, those members, every other Thursday, you can come on to our channel live with us, ask questions, discuss, give your opinions, et cetera, et cetera. And so all members get to chitty chat with us. Urban Legends also get, and there's a few more perks that we add from here, from time to time, but they get to come on air and be part of Our Black Utopia's live streams. And so we thank you, Dee, so much for becoming a member.
Yes, thank you.
All right, Tana. That was a distraction, so we didn't focus on the Supreme Court allowing those hackers access to our Social Security information.
That's right. Because they sure enough gave them the access to it.
Maybe, but I actually think the girls are fighting. I think the girls are fighting because they're both very immature. They're both very immature, and they're both very egotistical, aren't they? I think the girls were fighting. But yeah, it definitely was a distraction, and the Supreme Court has been doing some dumb shit. It's done some good stuff, but it's done a lot of dumb shit.
More
dumb shit than good shit, unfortunately. Right, Tana? Yeah. Yes, I say hello to everyone. Someone was not greeted today, not on OBU. We greet each other. That's right. That's right, Greta. Preparing them to what to expect abroad. People speaking. Like I said to a friend of mine yesterday, like the people here in Portugal may not be friendly. I don't think they're very friendly necessarily, but they are kind. They are kind. And if you need help, they will go out of their way to help you. And that to me is more important than a hello. Right? The demonstration that mattered was the election. That part. The demonstrators are displeased that their cruelty for others is impacting themselves. Now the cruelty is a problem and a personal problem. No, CK, I can't argue with you. You know I can't argue with you. Because it's true. It's true. And it's sad. And I hope that this will be a lesson for the Latino community to listen to Black women, period. That's all I'm going to say. Just listen to Black women. When you want to know what to do civically, look at what Black women are doing and then do that. That's what you need to do. If you want to save your life, that's what you need to do. Someday, people are going to get a clue. The memes of the girls fighting are on a whole new level. Yeah. I haven't seen the memes, y'all. I have not seen the memes, but I know the girls are fighting. Everything being done for drama and effects so we can be distracted and not pay attention to what's real. Look, this is real. This is real, okay? Because here's the thing. When the melon felon says, we gonna cancel your contracts, that's real. Like, that affects all of us. Even though it doesn't seem like it affects all of us, that affects all of us. So I have no idea how many contracts the United States government has with Starlink, whatever his company name, Starlink. All right. I don't know. I know that they were trying to take over the FAA and that got denied, hopefully. Some things are supposed to be paid by common dollars because they're for the common good, right? Keeping airplanes in the air and not crashing into each other, that's the common good. We don't need a for-profit company in charge of that because they may decide that it is better for shareholder value to take away some of, or some of the folks who are not working there, right?
Yeah, true.
Yeah. And the biggest welfare king, as Wink said, is Elon Muskrat. The elongated muskrat, right? He is the biggest welfare queen of them all. But they always want to blame us. All things pertaining. I love when you two are talking financial literacy. There is wealth transfer that is going on right now, and we have to be aware and be in the game. You are so right, all things pertaining. Yes. You are so right. So thank you for the super thanks.
Thank you so much.
All of the donations to this channel go to our scholarship fund for Beyond the Bling. That is our financial education program. Or not education, actually financial independence program for late bloomers. And so we thank you, all things pertaining to donating to the community. We really, really, really appreciate it. And so the wealth transfer that all things pertaining is talking about is that if this big ugly bill passes, right, this is going to be probably the biggest transfer of wealth in the history of the United States. And I remember when folks were getting on Obama's case because he was talking about a transfer of wealth in the other direction. And people had a problem with that.
Yeah.
Right? He was talking about a Robin Hood type of thing, taking a little bit from the rich so that we can spread it out amongst the poor.
This time they're robbing the hood.
This time, right? Oh, I like that. Where'd you get that from?
I just
Instead of
thought
Robin
about it.
Hood, they're robbing the hood. I like, my husband is so smart. They're robbing the hood. They are robbing the hood, y'all. That's what they're doing. Ooh, I love that. I love that. We gotta use that. All right, let's get back to these comments. Where were we at? Okay.
Put it on a t-shirt.
we should put it on a t-shirt. Starlink just stole data from the White House, right? He got, look, elongated muskrat got his stuff, right? He's got all of our information.
He's got it.
And he's selling it. So the first thing that y'all need to do is go on to every single credit bureau. What is it? Equifax. What are they? I can't remember anymore, but y'all know what they are. TransUnion and the other one. All right. All three of them, and freeze your credit. Freeze it. Unless you're in the middle of trying to buy a house or something like that, freeze your credit. Just freeze it. All right. You can always unfreeze. You can unfreeze it like an hour and then freeze it back.
Yeah.
If you need to qualify for something, unfreeze it and then freeze it back. Freeze it. Okay.
Very easy to do.
It's very easy to do. And that way, no matter what the elongated muskrat and his 25-year-old little stupid idiots who are following him around and stealing our information, if they start selling that on the black market or whatever the hell they're going to do with it, at least you know that your credit is frozen and nobody's going to be opening up a credit card or anything else in your name, because they will not be able to do that with your credit frozen in the United States. So we're not going to sit here and be ignorant alone, right? We're going to share information not only with each other, but with our friends and family so that we can weather this. Well, it's not a storm, it's a hurricane, right? So we can weather this hurricane, the hurricane of the melon felon. I spoke to a family member who asked the question, if I can get worse than what our parents went through. I said, it will be a lot worse. Oh, if it can get worse than what our parents went through.
Yeah, it'll be a whole lot worse.
Please prepare people. The difference is, here's the difference. Because I'm not going to necessarily, it's going to be a whole lot worse, because I don't know what it was like to be in the South in the 50s and 40s, okay? When people really, really, when individuals could hang you and know that there were going to be no repercussions, right? Right now, it's not the same. However, I believe that those ICE agents are J6ers. Why aren't they showing their face? Like, if you're doing the right thing, if you are protecting the American people, why aren't you showing your face? Why aren't you showing your face? And they don't look trained. They don't behave like they're trained. They behave like they just got pulled off the street and said, I'm going to deputize you. Here's the badge. Don't they? Right? Like, all you got to do is have an attorney show up and then all of a sudden they back down. It's like, well, if you're right, you're right. It don't matter. Attorney's not going to change that. You right, you're right. Something wrong. Something wrong with what's going on.
A lot's wrong with it.
Right? And so the difference is during the Eisenhower days, right? When Jim Crow was alive and well, during the Kennedy days, when Jim Crow was alive and well, we had two presidents who still believed in due process. And so even though they were racist, and even though they allowed the racism, now that we know that that is no longer available, we have got not individuals, right? Not individuals by themselves with their little mob stringing us up. Now we're back to state sanctioned, right? State sanctioned lynchings. That's what we're back to. And so from that standpoint, yeah, it's going to be worse. It's going to be worse. And yeah, y'all need to get prepared. The only miracle will be is if 3 to 4% of them white folks and maybe the Latinos, because we ain't going out there in them streets. They're not gonna kill us. They can kiss them. Don't go out there in them streets. Because you saw, we've been having protests every other day for the past since January 20th. And the first time they bring out the tear gas, the first time they bring out the rubber bullets and all that shit, who's out there? Brown people. Brown people.
Mm-hmm.
Brown people get into the streets in LA, and here come the riot gear. Here come the riot gear police. Here comes the melon felon talking about National Guard and all that nonsense.
Insurrection.
He's got the audacity to mention that word.
Mm-hmm. His Nazi knucklehead.
Tim?
No.
Miller? No.
No, it's not Tim Miller. Tim Miller work.
Who is he?
Is it Steve Miller?
Steve Miller. One of them Millers. One of them white boy Millers. I don't know.
One of them goofies.
Yeah. So was he the one?
Yeah. He claims it's an insurrection, but they haven't put it out as an insurrection. He used it at all.
Insurrection. But January 6th wasn't an insurrection.
No, it won't be an insurrection until black people get involved.
Right.
In the streets.
Right.
Then it'll be insurrection.
But them Latinos trying to keep kids from being shipped overseas and families from getting, destroyed and separated and all this stuff, them out in the street, that's an insurrection? Y'all, it's going to get a lot worse. It's going to get a lot worse. Thank you, Andrew Green. Hello, Halisi and Rick. I apologize, but I'm watching soccer Portugal playing Spanish.
Oh, yeah.
Watching you. Thank you, Andrew. Well, thank you. Again, we appreciate the super thanks. All money goes to our scholarship fund for Beyond the Bling. That is our financial freedom program for late bloomers. We appreciate you. Hey, GB. Thank you for becoming a member of Our Black Utopia. Yes. Welcome. We appreciate you. All right, let's see. Everything being done for drama and effects so we can be distracted, right? And not pay attention to what's real. We read that. All right. And Allison says, I did a couple of blogs about what is going on. Okay. Allison, put your blog name in and don't put a link because YouTube won't let you put a link. But y'all, we support each other, right? So put the name of your blog in the chat. Can new Black people that I meet in Lisbon come to the anybody? So except for the paid events, which is the she's talking about the meetup, y'all. We got 100 plus people coming here to Lisbon, Portugal for this meetup. And we are so, so happy. We cannot wait to see y'all. And so, yes, it's off topic, but anybody can come to any of the things that are not paid for. Okay. So that answered that question. 3D says, burnt out now. Girl, or dude, I don't know what you are, but person, I hear you. I literally worked myself into a seizure 12 years back. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Turned to 43. I turned 43 next month. You're very, 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 very young. I really need to be a part of that scholarship. Okay, so anyone who wants a scholarship to Our Black Utopia, we don't need a reason why you need a scholarship. We're going to trust that you can't afford the price, and it's very reasonable. I believe it's €200 for the program, and you can break it up into payments. And so I'm going to trust that if you say you need a scholarship, you need a scholarship. Mm-hmm. So just email us, give me grace because I'm still going through it. But if you say you need a scholarship, just email us. You can find our email address under About on our homepage and tell us that you would like a scholarship to Beyond the Bling. Okay. It's not a 100% scholarship, but it's like a 90% scholarship. And then Ruth says, I think the fear of investing in large scale real estate is the risk of people damaging your property. You have to plan for the good, bad, and ugly.
Yep.
Ruth, you are so right.
You do.
Yeah, you definitely do. You definitely do. And so, and we talked about that. We talked about that with my cousin the 2 times that we had him on the channel about, how folks treat your property and then what you should be putting aside for that. Here's the thing with real estate investing. Here's the thing with real estate investing. You've got to decide how much money per property you want to get, right? If you say for every property I want to clear at least $400, right? Then okay. So the mortgage has to make sense and the amount of rent that you can get in that area needs to make sense, right? And then you've got to add on top of that, from the rent that you can get, can you pull out a portion of it every month to set aside for maintenance?
For maintenance, yeah.
Over and above the security deposit or cleaning deposit, whatever have you, over and above that, right? Because the water heater may break, the furnace may break, et cetera, et cetera. And shit happens and you're responsible for fixing that. So yeah, here's something that I find interesting and I would not have thought. I asked him, who creates more wear and tear on your properties? Long-term or short-term rental? And he said long-term. He would prefer for all of his properties to be Airbnbs because obviously when people are there, they're there on vacation. And so you could say no parties, right? But parties aside, they're there on vacation. That means they're out most of the day and they come back home, maybe eat their food and sleep. And then they're out again. And so, yeah, his Airbnbs get a lot less wear and tear than his long-term rentals. So there you go. A pro tip. All right, let's get back to it. Okay, so we started with number 1, which was reframe asking for help as strategic, not shameful. You're not begging, you're building. All right. We've got to share our information with our families. Share it. Ask and then share. Ask and then share. Ask and then share. Number 2, identify specific needs or goals first. All right. Before you even ask, identify exactly what you're trying to achieve. Clarity builds confidence.
Yeah.
And make people more willing to help. 3, start with a conversation, not a request. Let's just talk about it.
Yeah. Ease into it.
Right? Let's just talk about it. Number 4.
Use what you learn, then follow up.
I don't know.
Let me say that again. Use what you learn and then follow up.
I cannot, first of all, if you're a parent, you know where I'm going. How many times do our adult kids ask for advice and then do the opposite? How many times?
And turn around and say, well, that didn't work for me.
Right? Like do our kids ask us for advice and then turn around and don't use it? Stephen Miller. Thank you, Stephanie. Right? And don't take advantage of it. Too many times to count. The agents are like deputized slave catchers by any means necessary.
For real.
She ain't lying. She ain't lying. She ain't lying. All right. So use what you learn.
Somebody gives you a gem.
Use it. Don't throw it away. When someone gives you a gem, act on it. Then circle back and let them know what you did with their advice. They will be more willing to help you in the future, right? Oh, Andrew, thank you. We now own.
Exactly.
We now own a condo. thanks to your advice.
Yeah, action builds trust.
Right? Shows gratitude, it reinforces the relationship,
Yep.
right? Because here's the deal. Even though these people are our family, do we really know them? Right? We have this surfacey relationship with a lot of folks in our extended family. And we know that they're doing great things. And most folks are willing to help, but we're not asking. We're not asking. So action builds trust and often leads to more help, like referrals, resources, or deeper mentorship if this person is not a family member, right? Like if they are a family member, it still might lead to referrals and resources and a deeper relationship. All right. And last but not least, number 5, create a culture of shared wealth.
Not silent struggle.
Thank you. Not silent struggle. Once you benefit from the advice or support, pay it forward.
Yeah.
Right?
That is such an important thing.
Right? Pay it forward. And that's what we endeavor to do every single week when we come to you. Everything that we learn, we want to pay it forward. We want Black Americans and Black folks of the diaspora, Africans of the diaspora, period. We want you all to live your best lives. We want you to have life of ease. We want you to have privilege. We want you to live the life of your dreams. We want you to create your own Black utopia. That's what we want for you.
Yeah.
That's what we want for you. That's why we come to you week after week after week after week, repeating what we're saying, because we know, like we were in the struggle. We were in the struggle. I was working 70 hours a week. He was working 70 hours a week, right? We were both bosses. We had 6-figure titles, right? We could hire and fire, but we were not making 6-figure money and we were not getting 6-figure respect. And we figured out a way to retire much earlier than we thought we could. One, we started asking questions of the people around us who were doing the things that we wanted to do. We put our egos aside. We challenged assumptions, right? We didn't think we knew. Well, we did for a while. That's what took us so long. But once we figured it out, we didn't think that we knew all of the stuff in advance, right? And we were willing to be wrong. And that's how you step out of the comfortable, but not necessarily gratifying life you have today and into a new life that you want. We don't want you in the United States. It's dangerous, y'all. It's dangerous. And there are a lot of opportunities outside of the United States for you to live a full life. And if you have kids, it's even more important. How much we know what they do to our kids. We know how they strip them, how the schools and the system strips them of their confidence, right? Especially if they're not going to a majority Black school. And I didn't say a majority, a minority, or majority POC. I didn't say that. I said majority Black, and that's what I meant. If they're not going to that kind of school, then I already know that they're getting treated poorly. Okay. And yes, I can say that they will be treated better in other circumstances. And what's more is they will not get a daily deluge of media that says that we're inferior. Now, racism is global. Anti-Blackness is global. I'm not saying that. But it's worse some places. And people in the United States is the archetype, is the foundation, is the blueprint, right, for modern racism. And everything that we've seen in the last century, they've learned it from the United States. You need to go. It's time to get out. It's time to get out. All right. No time to waste. And we cannot, like, we can't look back. When I say we can't look back, what I'm saying is that we need to provide a space where we are for those who can't leave right now. You wonder why Minneapolis has so many Ethiopians, right? They have the second largest Ethiopian population outside of Ethiopia in Minneapolis. Yes, that's right. Mhm. Why are they all there? Because somebody moved there, and then somebody else, and then somebody else, and then their cousin and them, and Big Mama and them, right? And so that's why.
Yeah, they showed them
So this is
everything.
not running away. This is providing a space somewhere else. This is showing you the way for your exodus, for your escape from purgatory. So, number 5, create a culture of shared wealth, not silent struggle. Shared wealth, a culture of shared wealth. That's what we're trying to do. And that's what you need to do, because Portugal's not for everybody.
No, it's not.
Portugal is not for everybody. So no matter where you go, create a culture of shared wealth and provide a space for others to follow behind you, right? We're not going to close the door. That's not what we're doing, right? We're going to leave the door open, and then we're going to reach back, we're going to grab and bring some people through with us, right? Behind us. That's what we're going to do. What y'all talking about? So that's what we've got for you. And that is what we got for you. Let's see what you guys are saying, and we'll let you go. I'm going to go down to the bottom comments. Wondering how much longer it'll be before a major deadly event takes place in the United States. By the way, the military, by way of the by way of the military, because of protests. Yep, natural disaster with NOAA, right? In the NOAA cuts, the FEMA cuts, right?
Yeah, that's the mother incompetent.
And all the other incompetencies that's going on
It's not.
under the Mellon family.
Dennis, it's not very. It's not far off at all.
It really is.
I mean, it's at the door.
What I want to see.
It's at the door.
What I want to see, like you got Josh Hawley on there saying, "Please, baby, please, baby, please, baby, please, will you speak to the president and send somebody our way?" Well, Josh Hawley, what? I don't know what state he's from. I don't know what state he's from.
Missouri.
Missouri, probably. So Missouri just had some flooding and all of that, right? Like about 3 months ago, 2 months ago, 3 months ago, something like that, or maybe tornado. I don't know. But he was in there begging, "Please, baby, please, baby, please." Why you gotta beg, Mr. J6? Right? You high-fiving the J6. Why you gotta beg? I thought you were in good with homeboy. Oh, he doesn't care about you either. Oh, you're just now figuring that out? Oh, that's precious. That's precious. That's where we're at. So it's hurricane season, y'all. Are you in Florida? Are you in Georgia? Are you in Louisiana? The Gulf states? Down there in southern part of Texas? Is that where you at? Houston? Black folks in Houston? It's time to go. They're not going to be able to warn you about the hurricanes the way they could before. You just saw the guy, I think he was from Miami-Dade station. And he's one of their weathermen who've been there for decades, right? And he just came on and said, "Look, you saw that clip that I just showed you where I could tell you that, yeah, I knew for sure that this hurricane was going to make a left before it hit Miami. Remember how I said, and you guys were worried and you were looking at the stuff, but I told you, don't worry, right? It's going to curve, right?" And it curved because he had the information from the satellites, the weather balloons, and all of that stuff. Now they're putting up a portion of the weather balloons.
Now all you got to depend on is the orange turd and his magic marker.
He gonna
draw
it and going another way, right?
Yeah, it's gonna detour this way, and then it's like that's what you got to look forward to.
He's cosplaying president. He thinks this is a reality show. This is not a reality show. And we are not pieces of this game. We're not, that you can just maneuver around. This is not a game. This is real life. And these people are tripping. And so, yeah, it's going to get real soon. And I say this summer is when it's going to pop off. Just like in 2020, it popped off during the summer. People are on vacation. Kids are out of school. College, young adults are out of school. And it's going to be hot. And people are going to be pissed. And you got these ICE agents that are, deputized hooligan penguins running around thinking that they're God.
Because they like to wear army clothes.
Because they're cosplaying.
They like to wear army clothes and have the vest and carry the AR-15s or whatever they're carrying.
Right? They're cosplaying. They think this is a joke. But it's not. It's not a joke. And Dennis is right. Let a hurricane come through and see and FEMA ain't around. Just like FEMA wasn't around for Missouri, FEMA wasn't around for Arkansas, and Huckabilly Chick, whoever the governor is of Arkansas.
They're
Huckabilly Hickabilly.
Huckabilly.
What a dumbass. And it's interesting that she is so idiotic when her father wasn't as idiotic. He was idiotic. He wasn't that damn idiotic. All right, we're going to wrap it up here. All right. Freezing your credit files prevents people from opening new accounts in your name. Your files can't be accessed, says LaRonda.
Right.
Opting out of allowing companies to sell your info stops pre-approvals for credit. Yes. So if you're still in the situation where you're hoping to get one of those offers where you can transfer your bills to a credit card with a zero interest for like 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, then no, you cannot freeze your credit, okay? Because they will not be able to send you those offers. So if you're still wanting those offers to come to you because you're strategically figuring out how you are going to eliminate your debt, right? And or you want one of those good travel credit cards, right, that we've talked about before. Again, you can't freeze your credit until you get the credit cards. And then show Rubinette Jenkins. Hey there, welcome. I don't know your name, but welcome. Can we freeze our kids' credit? Yep, to avoid someone. Yep. Anybody with a social security number, all right? Anybody with a social security number, that their credit can be frozen. They voted for state rights. They voted for states' rights. They volunteered to pay for their own natural disasters.
Mm-hmm.
It's time for those states to have the state income taxes. No more federal collection plates, right?
Consequences of votes.
Right. Arkansas, right? Missouri. It's time. You cannot shit on California and expect them to pay your bills at the same time. That's not how it works, lovelies. That's not how it works. And so you want state rights? Roy? Hell it. Jiva Girl says, hi, Halisi and Rick. Hey. That is a mosquito. Hold on, y'all. I'm going to get it. Dang it. Okay. It looks like the Treasury Secretary hinted that the national debt will be lowered by aggressive increases in property taxes that could impact the bottom line of your investments. Jiva Girl, the Treasury Secretary doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. Property taxes are controlled by the county, not the feds. So unless they're going to tax investment properties in a special way, I suppose. But right now, Property taxes are county. But he's a WEI or she's a WEI, right? We know that. So they don't know what the FUCK they're talking about. None of them do. No, habeas corpus mean, or was it due process or
Habeas corpus.
Habeas corpus means the president can do whatever the hell he wants. Really? Really?
Yeah, she was a governor too, wasn't she?
She was a governor.
Well, they didn't have too much in her state.
Yeah, she go like Sarah Palin, the governor of 20 people, but she still was a governor, and she didn't know what due process was. All right. These people are WEI, white, entitled, and incompetent. That's what they are. They need some DEIs in there, and maybe we'll get stuff together. I saw the news warning, and I'm in Orlando, Florida. Oh, I'm sorry, Oh, I'm sorry. I hope that they're able to do a good enough job to keep y'all safe. I hope. I really do. I really, really do. Where are the bootlickers? Tim Scott Byron, right? And them. Or Byron. Wasn't it Byron? Who was it who was talking about stuff was better under Jim Crow? That was Byron, right? That was Byron.
Donaldson, yeah.
Hey, Bob, where you at? Where you at? Let's do some Jim Crow stuff. These people. Like, there's nothing worse than a Judas goat. There is nothing worse. Right? That's the person on the plantation. Master, we say, Master, you better rebel against us, Master. You better get them.
Him and Mushmouth, Tim Scott.
They need their black cards have already been revoked. Their black cards, and we cannot let them back in. Just like Candace Owens. I don't care what you say, Candace. And who was the other? Omarosa. F all y'all. F all y'all. Y'all created this. Y'all helped create this. And now you want to and talk about him like a dog. No, but you were promoting him before. And now that you see that the United States is like a hair's breadth away from 100% fascism and authoritarianism, now you want to start talking out. No, it's too late. Miss me with that. You can go down with the ship. Right? Right, Kimmy? All right. Texas is under threat of some serious severe weather today. Oh my gosh. They gave predictions yesterday. I'm sorry, Allison. See, I know, but I'm not surprised. I mean, it is hurricane season. Did you sell your primary residence when you left the U.S.? No, we did not, Benita. We still have it. Some people sell, some people don't. It depends upon whether what's going on in your life, right? Do you want to be a landlord? It's a pain in the ass. I'm gonna tell you. Like, I'm dealing with it right now. I've got somebody in our house who's got cats and shit that are shitting everywhere. And I'm really, really, really pissed off about it. And so, but I'm here. I'm not there. And so, yeah, it's a pain. So you got to decide if that's a pain that you want to deal with and if the pros outweigh the cons. It's going to be like Kent State.
Yeah, on steroids.
For those of you who are too young to know what Greta is talking about, all I can say is Google it. As Josh Johnson says, it's easy to know today. You can just Google it. There was a time when you just had to know, or you had to go to the library and look that stuff up. All right, last but not least, did you say, okay, so we just answered that. All right, so that's what we have for you today, y'all. I'm sure you have more questions. I wanted to talk about conversations not had because I regret the conversations that I didn't have with my dad. And that was the impetus for today, for the idea of today. And then we started thinking about all of the other situations that are going on in our life, and people are not sharing information. We are not sharing information with each other as families and as a community. And we cannot survive like that, right? We cannot. We cannot.
Yeah. And there's a lot you can learn if you just ask.
Just ask.
You'd be surprised.
Just ask, right? So anybody in your life, you look around and there's something in their life that's like, I'd like that too. Ask them how. Okay, that's your assignment this week. I want you to look around. Someone in your life that is doing something that you're like, I want to do that too. And you need to ask them for advice on how you can do that too. If you're watching from the future, hey. Say hello. Let us know where you're logging in from. And then let us know what you are going to ask your family member, a family member this week. All right. This week, that's the assignment. If you have more questions about how to move abroad, if you have more questions about how to become financially independent, how to do this life abroad, if you have more questions about investing in general, right? Getting your money straight. We have one-on-one calls. We do coaching calls. That information is in the description below. If you need help and you want to be a part of a community, and you need to make more money. If money is the thing that is keeping you stuck, if money is the thing that's keeping you from moving abroad, we are starting our side hustle challenge. The next side hustle challenge, the next cohort will begin in July, like the second week of July. All right. That information, again, is in the description below, and somebody might be putting it in the chat right now as I speak. If you've taken our side hustle challenge, let us know. Let folks know what you thought. Okay. We will take you in 10 weeks. It is a 10-week challenge. We will take you from here are my skills, here are my ideas, my passions, to I'm launching my business in 10 weeks. Okay. You don't have to know what you want to do, but you have to be willing to launch in 10 weeks to join. Okay. And we're only taking 25 people. Only taking 25 people because Rick and I look at every single assignment, every single piece of your business. What you're going to be creating is not a business plan, it's a business launch plan. Okay. We look at every single piece of that and we give you feedback. And I can't do that. We can't do that for 50, 60 people. We just can't. All right. So the first 25 people. And so we only have about half of the spots left. If you want to be in the next cohort, which starts the second week in July, and comes with group coaching, of course, it is the part of it is self-paced in a way. So you've got 2 weeks to complete every assignment. Okay. Right. So that part is self-paced. But every other week we will be meeting for group coaching. And then in between, we're going to be evaluating, giving you feedback so that you can turn in something that you're proud of in the in-between time. All right. And so that is our side hustle challenge. And if you just want to join a community, our Fire Over 50 Facebook group is available on Facebook. I don't know how much longer we're going to be on Facebook, but we're on there for now. And when we move, we will let y'all know in plenty of time. All right. We're not going to go to a paid thing. That we're not going to do that as far as Facebook, as far as that community goes. But I'm just not happy with Meta, y'all. I'm just not happy with Meta. And so we got to find something else out, I think, right?
Yeah.
I think we got to find something else out. All right. With that.
Please be careful out there in the streets.
Yes.
Take care of yourself. Take care of each other.
Yes.
Don't get sucked out there in them crazy streets with those crazy folks. Because they just waiting for you to do that. They're waiting for us to step out in those streets.
Exactly.
Then it's going to turn really deadly.
Exactly. So
please take care of yourselves.
Stay safe. Stay home. Stay vigilant. Stay hopeful. Get your stuff done. All right. We can do this. We can do it together. We will survive this melon felon term. We will. So don't be scared. Right? Prepare. That's what you need to do. We love y'all. And we'll see you on Thursday with our legends.